One of the great things about the Railway Arches, one of the things they provide is an opportunity for people who are maybe don't have big backers or huge budgets to come in and be creative and change the space in a number of different ways. You know, they can be rough and ready, they can be a bit, you know, not sort of a bit rough around the edges, but that's perfect. A lot of these businesses in the area, they don't need multi-million-pound fit outs and shiny chrome and glass. What they need is a space where they can be creative, and I think that's what these archways offer, a real opportunity, affordable opportunity for independent businesses and creative people to come along and do something amazing. And you've got that kind of Wonka's factory feel about it, which is from the outside they look pretty rough. You open the door and all of a sudden you're transformed and you're in a different place, and that's very exciting. I think that's one of the things that people in Manchester are most excited about is are unique spaces, and I think there's no better example of that than the Railway Arches in the Green Quarter.
My name's Paul Greetham. I'm the founder and brewer at Beatniks Republic Brewing Company. We started about 18 months ago, kind of travelling around to different breweries before finally setting on Manchester as our permanent home, where we've been brewing on site for probably about the last 12 months.
My name is Jay Carhill and I'm one of the co-owners of Fighting Fit Manchester. We've been established since 2008. We're a martial arts and fitness gym. We deliver Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, boxing, no-gi grappling, and we also do strength and conditioning sessions and powerlifting.
My name is Mark. I am the head brewer and owner of the Runaway Brewery. We've been making beer here in our archway for just over 4 years. So I started brewing in May 2014. I now employ 4 other people alongside me here at the brewery, a couple of brewers, an apprentice, and 1 or 2 others who help us with deliveries and sales and that kind of thing. And we make, or brew I should say, I guess contemporary, modern variants on traditional style beers.
I'm Prakash. This is Pop-Up Bikes in Manchester. We're a cycle cafe and we do maintenance, service, repairs, and we sell used bikes. Been here just over 6 years, so it was 6 years 3 weeks ago.
So we really want to get the message out there to, you know, all of the great local businesses here in Railway Arches that are unaware that this is happening with the sell-off of the Railway Arches, and just to get the word out there to the consumers, to the communities, so that they can support, you know, this campaign.
It's more than just making people aware, because awareness is fantastic, but then people have to act on what they're aware of. So we need, you know, what is it that makes this part of Manchester so special? What is it that makes Manchester special? It's the diversity, it's cultural diversity, it's the diversity in businesses and ideas and opportunities. And so we need people to be aware that these businesses are here. We need people to be aware that potentially they're under threat, and to really just get behind it, because who wants a city that's just full of, you know, big corporate entities or apartment buildings? There's got to be things for people to do. It's got to be unique things, different things, exciting things for people to do. Otherwise, what's the point of the city? So, yeah, we want to make people aware of what's going on. We want to get them engaged. We want to get them to support us and make their feelings known that, you know, no, we don't want to lose this.
Base Manchester has been here for 6 months, and we came up with the idea because there's a lot of competitive socialising. People don't just necessarily want to go out and drink now, they want to go out and do something, activities with the friends and families as well. So the batting cage idea, with maybe the second batting cage in the whole country. There isn't anywhere else that does this.
Well, it's a really good home because it's the right kind of size, it's the right kind of location. There are a lot of kind of industrial sites that were available, but it was much further kind of out of town. Having a kind of central Manchester base, it lets us be part of the kind of community and also allow us to really kind of get to know our you know, the local pubs and the local market.
The arch here gives us 2 or 3 things which other industrial areas don't. Brewing is an industrial process, so we need to be in an environment which is semi-industrial at the very least. We like being close to the city centre. Trying to find industrial premises in central locations is quite difficult, but it means that we're much closer to our customers. So from a sustainability perspective, our delivery days can be done on a push bike sometimes. We're not driving miles and miles and miles to deliver and collect our beer. I guess an environmental side to that, which is important. But equally, it means we want to be relevant to Manchester. We're a tiny little business, so we don't want to be selling all of our beer internationally. we want to be selling the majority of it in and around the city that we're part of.
We're so close to the city centre, and as you can see, it's a really unique location. A little bit unusual because there's a ramp running down the middle, which is a problem for a lot of people, but it's great for us. We use it to test bikes. It's just a great space for us, and literally the city centre's 2 minutes away. We're about 5 minutes away from Victoria Station. Really accessible for our customers, which are mainly cyclists.
First of all, the location is fantastic. We are based very close to the city centre, and to have this much space in such an open plan way near the city centre, you struggle to get it in any other type of unit. As you can see, we need that sort of space for the mats and the lifting areas. So the arches sort of provide that open plan space with no kind of pillars or anything like that. Also, you've got like the car park outside, it's walking distance to the train station, so those are all benefits. We're a very community-based gym, so we do a lot of work with the people who live locally. So with it being in a residential area in the Green Quarter, we've got a lot of apartments near us, so a lot of people who live nearby come to the gym. And also we work with a lot of businesses, which is important to what we do. So it being close proximity to the city centre and a lot of businesses is really good for us. It's also quite quirky, you know, when people come in, they kind of see the arches, and they always say they don't expect it to be this big from the outside, and it just gives a certain sort of atmosphere and a certain feeling to the place. We have quite high ceilings in this unit as well, which gives us the opportunity to do things. You know, some of our traditional martial arts use weapons and whatever, so the high ceilings is useful.
The main reason it's so amazing in the Green Quarter, besides obviously the other businesses in the area, is the space, the physical space that we're in is absolutely perfect for what it is we do. Obviously it's an industrial unit, and we are a production facility, a factory if you like, and we wanted that space downstairs, but also we wanted to create another area where people could come in, which was a bit warmer and a bit more friendly, and where they could relax, and where we could create the gin school and the bar, and that's what we've got on the mezzanine level. So in terms of a physical space for running a gin school and a gin experience, it's perfect, but it's also perfect for creating gin.
I think independent businesses are so important just for diversity and a change of what generally you get from city to city. If you travel through, I don't know, Manchester, Leeds, London, you'll see a lot of the familiar things all over the high street. It's the independents which give the city its character, and it just kind of it gives it that life that's so important to a city.
The idea really is to remain a relatively small, locally relevant business, but making something that we care about. So rather than profit being our main motivation, sure, we have to make a living, but the quality of the product, the flavour that we're able to put into beer, and the excitement that we're then able to generate as a result is what I guess motivates us. We found it really important, I guess, keeping hold of the heritage of beer making in terms of the processes and the ingredients, but that we were trying to make something that is contemporary, to make beer accessible to a wider range of people, to be part of, I guess, a wider movement to modernise beer.
Like I say, it's a bit of an unusual space. It's just outside the central zone, so the costs sort of reflect that in terms of the rent, things like business rates, being accessible. There's plenty of free parking nearby, which is great again for us and our customers. I think it'd be an increased cost. Being here has enabled us to provide a great service at a really reasonable price for our customers, and we'd be a bit concerned about losing that.
Independent businesses such as ourselves are essential to the uniqueness that Manchester has to offer. I think that you know, all these different areas around the outskirts of the city centre, you know, the Green Quarter, Northern Quarter, Ancoats, etc., etc., are so interesting because they have so many independent businesses doing things that are different to elsewhere, that are quite unique. And that's why people want to live here, and that's why people want to sort of be part of what's going on, because you know, just on this stretch itself, you've got bars, you've got breweries, you've got coffee shops, you've got this gym, and that's really important. And as I said, we do a lot of work with the community. We're a social enterprise, we're a not-for-profit business. Our mission statement is about benefiting the community, so we do a lot of work with local charities, we work with the Booth Centre, and you know, we pride ourselves on being here for the people in our community. And I think when you're looking at a city, like Manchester, that's big already and is getting bigger, I think it's important to have neighbourhoods and it's important to have a sense of community and some infrastructure in these pockets around town, so that you're not just a face in the crowd and you're not just lost in a huge city, you know. People come here because there's a social aspect to it as well as just having the training. I think that's important for people who live and work in the city centre.
There are lots of little businesses in these archways, and that gives you something in common. Now that might sound a little bit, why is that so important? I don't know why it's so important, but we have certainly built up relationships with lots of other little businesses as a result of being in these locations. A little bit out of the way, needing something which is a bit rough and ready, not usually businesses with a huge amount of money to help them set up. So you're in the same boat as many of those other people who are also got ideas and are trying to do something different and something new. So it often ends up attracting similar like-minded people. And as a result, there is a genuine business community within those arches.
Support local, because there's some really good people doing really good stuff and they deserve the support, because it's the independent traders, producers, the artists, the creatives, it's these people
the lifeblood of the country.
Yeah, and they contribute so much to making Manchester what it is as a city. You know, they contribute so much to the feel and this atmosphere and this identity, which then goes out around the world. That comes from these people, and when these people are threatened, they need the support of the general public and the people of Manchester so they can continue what they're doing, and we can continue to shout about what an amazing city Manchester is legitimately. You know, this isn't a con, this is real. This is a really cool, creative, inclusive city, and, you know, long may it continue. But it will only continue if independent businesses are supported like this.
Independent businesses really can't rest on their laurels. They need to provide, you know, fantastic service for their customers, and reputation's everything. So we can't really absorb any knocks. We just need to do really great work, and it means it's hard work for us, but it's great when we get fantastic feedback from our customers, great reviews online. All those things make a huge difference. And we know our neighbours. You know, we really have to work with them to promote the area. And it's independent businesses that I think make Manchester completely unique.
I've been to a lot of cities in the world and visited lots of places, you know, and I genuinely wouldn't live anywhere other than Manchester. I think it's got so much character, it's got so many things going on in such a small city. I think the people are great, they show fantastic togetherness when it's necessary. You can walk down the street, go into the city centre, go into a pub, go into a coffee shop and talk to people that you've never met before, and find things in common with them and feel comfortable with them. And when I have friends that come from other areas, you know, they always comment how friendly people are in Manchester, and I think that's the thing that holds it together. Manchester wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for the people, and they help to make it creative and they help to make it unique.
Well, I think it's just the people. People are so friendly, so welcoming and so nice, and so supportive of new businesses, independent businesses. So we couldn't imagine being anywhere else, really.
Manchester's been very good to us. As you can tell, I'm not a native Mancunian, but I've been here since 2009. It's a very young city. It feels like there's a lot of activity, very dynamic city. It's also a city which is full of life, and people want to experience new things. They want to try new things. For me, it's a city that is proud of its heritage, but it isn't held back by it. I've lived in other cities in the UK where heritage, I think, has been put higher up on the list, perhaps, than modernisation and progression. And it is a difficult balance to get right, and I appreciate that. But I think Manchester does it in a way which respects the past often, but also looks to the future. And I think if you're trying to do something new and contemporary, it's important to be in that sort of environment.
The people, definitely the people. I don't think there's anywhere quite like it in the world. Been to a few places, there's nothing quite like Manchester. And I was born 2 miles up the road, never needed to move. Everything you need on your doorstep. But for me, it's the people.
What I love most about Manchester is it's a city where you can get things done. And it's only a city where you can get things done because there are affordable spaces like this. I just love how creative the people can be. It is that thing, it's always been. Why did we create the gin experience in the first place? We created it because we didn't just want to put our products on a shelf, slap the word Manchester on it. We wanted to create something where people could come down, they could be part of it, they could interrogate what we do, but then also be creative and create something themselves. So the Manchester condition, if you like, is, what was the quote from Judge Parry? Manchester is a place
Where people do things.
Manchester is a place where people do things, and it really is. It's a city where people want to do things, and you can get stuff done. And I love that Manchester condition. And if we take away the spaces and opportunities for people to be creative, then we take away what we are as a city and as a people. But that's what I love about Manchester, that no one just wants to consume, they want to be actively involved and be part of something.